Going once, going twice, sold! You're listening to the Property Pod.
Hey listeners, welcome back to another mini episode of the Property Pod. This is our third and final one for Inman, or I think you'll hear in this, Pat's been pronouncing it wrong the whole time and he gets called out on it, but he's grabbed another interview. He's been hard at it while he's over there, so well done, Pat, on not losing too much money and getting some really, really good content for the podcast. In this interview, he's chatting with Peter from Box Brownie. Just before, well, I've cut it out, but I was thinking about leaving it in. Just before the interview starts, Pat's asked Peter how his surname is pronounced, and the guy said, just stick with Peter from Box Brownie, mate. It's not worth the effort. So Pat's trying his best, and he's working at it. Maybe someday we'll release a blooper reel where you get to hear Pat have a crack at it. But alas, Box Brownie is a digital marketing company. They're really, really good at what they do, and the conversation that Pat has with Peter is really, really interesting. It's right in my wheelhouse. I really enjoyed listening to it and was a bit jealous I didn't get to have a chat with the guy as well. So hopefully relationships built and Pat might be able to get him on the podcast again in longer form. Time will tell. All right, hope you enjoyed this last little mini episode, and Pat will be back this week for the real deal, man. John won't be as having much fun as we did last week. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. We sure enjoyed putting it together, and we sure enjoyed putting all this stuff together, and we'll continue to pod as much as we can. We're loving it, and hoping you guys are too. All right, cheers. Here's Pat.
Hi everyone, Patrick Berry of 414 Real Estate. I'm here at the third day of Inman Connect here in Las Vegas. I'm sitting here with Peter from Box Brownie. Peter specialises in real estate marketing, and I'm really excited to get him on the mic to have a bit of a chat. How are you, Peter?
Yeah, really good. It's great to be here.
So,
how are you enjoying Inman?
My first one, so it's a bit of a blast and a bit overboard as far as everything that happens here.
Well, I noticed it's your first one because you're calling it Inman rather than Inman.
Ah, there you go. There's a little insider.
Yeah.
It was like yesterday I was listening to Data versus Data. That really blew my mind.
Yeah, welcome to America.
Yeah, just those little tiny changes there that you got to make in your speech.
That's it.
Wanting to pick your brain, obviously we talk to a lot of consumers back in our own marketplace about the importance of marketing and why you should do professional photos, and I thought what better person to get on the mic to have a chat about it than yourself, since that's your industry.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. I don't know if your listeners know what Box Brownie does. BoxBrownie.com, we are known as. We enhance digital marketing for agents, and I suppose we travel the world educating people on the necessity of marketing is really what we do.
Yeah, obviously in Australia it's pretty good take up with professional photos and taking the time to market property well with video and other aspects.
Yeah.
It's more about, with consumers, getting them to understand why the importance of marketing is.
Yeah.
I guess agents, we understand it, but what do you see advantages of using professional quality marketing rather than just a snapshot?
Oh, look, it's manifold. So I suppose you have statistics. Having a better image, for example, will statistically sell a property faster for more money, and there are two big reasons why you would instantly look at
investing in the money.
Yeah, putting the money in, because, if I tell you that statistically you're likely to get 4% more for having marketed your house just using better imagery, that's a lot of money.
It's a bit of a no-brainer when photos are a couple $100 realistically.
That's it. So, there's so much along those lines, using twilight imagery to get more clicks, to actually have more people look at the property and things like that. Sometimes it's not necessarily just about money and speed of sale. It's also about getting more clicks or more attention to your property, and that's also important in a rising market. And I find a lot of consumers don't have that explained to them well by the agent. They turn up and they say, look, here is the cash outlay that you're going to have to give us, but they don't really sit there and go, well, these are the reasons why
they should spend it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and that's sort of it. And it's not just photos though these days as well, is it? It's there's so many other avenues that you can use to promote a property as well.
Yeah, well, rising at the moment is the I suppose you'd call it the emergence of immersive marketing. Say that 5 times really fast. But the immersive marketing is just referring to 360-degree photographic tours. Purchasers want to see them, and they really allow the buyer to be part of that experience.
Yeah, I heard a stat from local CRM Rex. I think Queensland guys like yourself. I think they had a blog up recently which was something along the lines that 75% of buyers want to see a 3D tour of some sort, yet only 2.5% of agents actually offer it.
Yeah. Well, I don't
know where the stat comes from.
No, I don't know that stat either.
if it is true.
Yeah, I mean, there are stats that correlate with that. The National Association of Realtors, which is the main body over here, has statistics. They have done 2 surveys, I guess, one in 2017 and one in 2018. And the 2017 survey said, it was 16th on the list, immersive marketing, but now it's sitting at number 3, and that's in the space of a year. So
there's a big take-up of it, or a big
it's
interest
in line with that. The one thing we know, I suppose, whether statistically speaking, is that purchasers do want to see them. So, and the reality is they're coming down in price. They used to be quite expensive. They're actually coming down in price and raising in quality. So, most of the 360 cameras that you can buy these days sit between $300 and $1,000, rather than in the past being over $5,000. So
if I'm a photographer, is it at a point where I'm starting to stress about my job? Or
no, I don't think
photos
so.
are slightly different.
No, well, I think the way the 360 world goes is it's going down the same line as digital stills, where we'll still be using photographers to do it. It's just a different market. So
I think for me, photos can really sell a story or get an emotional attachment to a property to make someone move through.
Yeah, they sure do, and they're on the front line. So don't forget, there are no portals that put 360 first. So in Australia, realestate.com.au, you don't start with a 360. So your photos are your front line.
Yeah,
and if that first one's not banging, then
quickly scroll through like another Facebook post.
Yeah, that's right. And you really have to be guided by your agent as to what that best avenue is. They should know where the market sits in their area. They should know
what works and what doesn't.
Exactly what works. And a good agent will be able to do that. And now all of the other bits and pieces, they fall into it. Floor plans, the necessity of that. 360, as we've spoken about. Even copy, which is underestimated today. Copy is really important.
A lot of people just naturally assume now that we're a visual world, like video and photos are the be-all and end-all, but there is something about a story you can tell when you sort of describe a property and you describe the lifestyle you can enjoy there. Yeah. So I can totally get that copy still is an important thing. Yeah. It's just, it's a different method, but they all work in conjunction with each other realistically, don't they?
They do, and they have to work synonymously. That's the thing. If you're just doing it for the sake of doing it, you're probably doing it for the wrong reasons. So, a good agent actually, and here's a key point, a good agent won't look at marketing a house. They'll look at marketing that product to a target audience.
Okay.
And so they will approach it from the perspective that, yes, it looks and feels and smells like a house, but there'll be a target audience that want to buy that. And these are the best mediums I need to use to get it across. And those mediums could be social media. They could be realestate.com.au. They could be SMS campaigns. They could be brochures. And an excellent agent will have a list of those mediums, which allows that product to hit the target audience well.
So it's almost like knowing what type of demographic is going to best pitch to that particular property and then marketing to that demographic. So
there could be multiple demographics. So
so for instance, like if you've got a little tiny unit on the flat which is right next door to all services, that's probably more of an older demographic downsizing. Where if you've got something that's more in a cheaper, affordable, easy to maintain lifestyle, that could be more of a millennial that just wants to get out and enjoy the weekends.
And some of them are even easier. It's a townhouse next to a hospital. But you're going to be getting some of the medical staff in there, and it's some of them are townhouses or apartments next to universities. So sometimes they're really easy and sometimes they're not. But the reality is, regardless of whether you identify the demographic well or not, that's your job as an agent. The reality is you're still marketing a product to a target audience. The hard part for agents is identifying that target audience.
Exactly, and I think that's the key in all of this, is that you just can't throw money at it or throw mud at the wall and hope it sticks. You've got to pick the right thing to work for the right person.
Yeah, that's right, and be sensible about it. A lot of the things we're talking about make absolute sense. That they're not crazy ideas. This should be something that you can embrace and go as a consumer, as someone that's sitting there going, I'm selling my house. There are statistical reasons and facts that actually prove why we're doing what we're doing and moving forward. And my hope is, if you're an agent and listening to this, that you are actually educating that to that consumer well, so that they understand.
Yeah, not just pushing a number across the table and saying, you need to spend this money.
Here's the marketing campaign I did for the one that's 3 suburbs over. We're going to do that again.
Yeah, exactly.
So, if you get someone coming in, ask a lot of questions. Yeah, a good agent will listen and sit there and explain through why they do it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's pretty interesting sort of take on how you sell marketing. I really do appreciate I guess you're not really in the selling marketing game to a degree.
Well,
that's our job at the end of the day.
I am, but
in a different sense.
Different sense, yeah.
But I really do appreciate you taking time out of your busy day here in the States while you're obviously working your booth. Obviously, we'll put a little plug down in the footnotes to your website so people can have a little look at what you can do. But thanks for taking the time just to have a quick chat to us, and I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Awesome.
All
Thanks.
the best.
See ya.